Chapter 272, Anarchic Realm. Forget it, he muttered sourly. Speculating endlessly won't change reality. It is what it is. Giving the fractured rune one last bitter glance, Orion slowly drifted onward, suppressing his lingering irritation. He moved gently forward, seeking solace in examining the runes of Fire Dragon Breath and Thunder Dragon Breath, his foundational draconic abilities. When he finally arrived, Orion's tense anticipation quickly shifted into soft optimism. Both runes, while visibly cracked, showed promising signs of gradual restoration. Gentle streams of energy flowed continuously into their surfaces, mending the cracks slowly yet steadily. They pulsated softly, clearly benefiting from Orion's ongoing evolution. A quiet breath of relief escaped Orion. At least these runes seem to be healing together with my evolution, he murmured thankfully, carefully observing the process. They should emerge stronger after this is all over. Encouraged, he drifted past the recovering dragon breath runes, heading toward another part of his sea of consciousness. Soon, the unmistakable silhouette of the Soulpiercer sword appeared within his view, serenely floating within the azure currents, exuding an aura of silent dignity. As Orion approached, the sword gently emitted a faint resonance, its blade softly vibrating as the familiar presence within slowly awakened. Moments later, a stream of shadowy mana emerged gracefully from the sword, forming into the alluring and majestic figure of Xianxia. She materialized elegantly, her vivid ember eyes sparkling with amusement as they swiftly located Orion's flickering flame form. Her lush lips curved immediately into a delighted, teasing smile. "Oh my," she laughed softly, a playful note coloring her sultry voice. "Orion, I didn't expect you to be such a tiny and cute flame." Orion stared at her with a deadpan expression, entirely unamused by her playful teasing. "No need to beat a dead horse," he replied dryly, his flame flickering with mild annoyance. "I'm already getting depressed looking at the condition of my sea of consciousness." Xianxia chuckled gently again, a subtle tenderness briefly softening her mischievous gaze. Indeed, she conceded more seriously, scanning the damaged surroundings with a hint of sympathy. "Your sea of consciousness truly is in quite a bad shape. Though, I did warn you something like this might happen." Orion exhaled another tired breath, acknowledging her words without resentment. "Yes, I know. And I don't regret it, not one bit. But seeing it directly like this, it's discouraging, especially that supreme grade eye of revelation. I still can't understand how something like that got ruined during a fight between mere mortals." Xianxia raised a finely arched eyebrow thoughtfully, her gaze sharpening with interest. "Oh? Even that supreme ability of yours was affected? That is indeed surprising. But," she added thoughtfully, "there could be various explanations for that. Perhaps the conflict between your multiple legacies caused it, or maybe an external force far beyond your comprehension interfered. Or possibly your rather unique soul itself might have contributed." She paused meaningfully, eyeing Orion's flickering golden flame with a subtle fascination. "Your soul appears to be a fusion of all three of your legacies. Quite extraordinary indeed." Orion shook his flame form lightly, dismissing further speculation. "There's no point making hypotheses about it now. What's done is done. Frankly, at my current level, I wasn't utilizing it too frequently anyway. I'll worry about its repair or reconstruction later, once I'm stronger and out of here." Xianxia's lips curled into a flirtatious, playful smile, her gaze softening suggestively. Isn't this quite a romantic situation? A young maiden and a handsome young master, stranded together in an isolated, intimate space. Orion felt an inexplicable twitch in his non-existent lips, responding dryly, "It might have been romantic if one of us wasn't an ancient dragon possibly millions or billions of years old, and the other not currently stuck as a mere flickering candle flame." Xianxia laughed richly, her amusement genuine and unrestrained. "Oh dear," she teased affectionately, "you really know how to spoil a maiden's romantic fantasies." Orion sighed exaggeratedly, but his irritation slowly faded into mild amusement. "And you seem to enjoy poking fun at my misery." She smiled charmingly, her voice softening. "Consider it my way of cheering you up, Orion." Dwelling too much on your losses won't change them. Focus instead on recovery and improvement. With your talent and determination, you'll surely overcome these temporary setbacks. Orion contemplated her words quietly, recognizing the underlying wisdom. He slowly exhaled again, gradually feeling lighter, more encouraged. You're right, Astaraxa, he admitted softly, his tone lightening up. No matter how severe the damage seems, it's still temporary. I'll simply rebuild everything better than before. She nodded approvingly, her playful demeanor briefly replaced by gentle sincerity. That's exactly what I expected you to say, Orion. With all these gifts you have, I would be disappointed if you weren't this resilient. Their conversation naturally flowed onward, becoming comfortably casual and gradually shifting away from serious topics. The playful banter between them resumed easily, Orion finding himself increasingly amused and comforted by her teasing presence, as he had not talked with anyone for months. You know, Orion eventually remarked, his flame form gently bobbing in amusement, it's rather ironic. Here I am, stuck in my own sea of consciousness with a flirtatious ancient dragon for company. This isn't how I imagined things turning out when you said I might not progress for a long time. Astaraxa chuckled again, her vivid eyes sparkling mischievously. And yet, she purred seductively, you seem to be enjoying my company immensely. Admit it, Orion, you'd be terribly bored without me. Orion laughed softly, conceding her point with playful resignation. Fine, you win. Having you around does make things far more entertaining. She smiled triumphantly, flicking her elegant tail gently. See? I knew you'd eventually appreciate my irresistible charm. Orion sighed dramatically, but his mood was unquestionably lighter. Together, they continued their conversation, their playful exchange filling the boundless azure expanse with a warmth that gradually healed the quiet melancholy lingering within Orion's fractured sea of consciousness. As time passed unnoticed, Orion got quieter and began studying spells again, while Astaraxa stood silently in front of him, her expression unreadable. The azure expanse regained its calm as everything fell silent. In a remote corner of existence, hidden far beyond the boundaries of known kiliocosms and untouched by the laws of ordinary worlds, stretched a chaotic expanse teeming with unimaginable cosmic horrors. Nebulous voids and swirling maelstrom of corrupted energy clashed ceaselessly, giving birth to nightmarish creatures that vanished as swiftly as they appeared, their anguished roars silenced by the oppressive darkness. Within this anarchic realm stood Echo, unmoving amidst the violent tempest, an island of serenity and unshakable calm. His silver hair cascaded down his shoulders, shimmering like molten starlight, contrasting sharply with the darkness around him. His eyes, ancient and indifferent, observed the group of colossal figures before him. Each entity gathered there towered unimaginably large, their forms dwarfing entire universes. Their presence distorted the fabric of reality itself, warping time and space into twisted configurations. They stood like monolithic statues carved from nightmares, incarnations of primal fears given corporeal form. Death Dragon Emperor loomed foremost, his dark visage shrouded in dense, swirling shadows that whispered of despair and eternal silence. Beside him, Decay Dragon Emperor exuded a corrosive aura, his massive draconic form perpetually deteriorating and regenerating, symbolizing the unstoppable march of entropy. Chapter 273, Echo's Fury. The Darkness Dragon Emperor radiated a suffocating, pitch-black gloom, his enormous wings eclipsing entire galaxies. The Titan Emperor stood solid and unwavering, his mountainous figure encased in celestial armor that crackled with primal force. The Dark Phoenix Empress burned coldly, her flames absorbing rather than emitting light, symbolizing rebirth corrupted into eternal darkness. Nearby, the Undead Emperor stood shrouded in a veil of restless souls, countless eyes filled with hollow anguish peering through the void. The Goblin Emperor grinned maliciously, his cunning eyes glittering with malicious intelligence beneath a twisted crown forged of broken relics. Several other shadowy figures lingered around them, their features obscured but their threat palpable. Echo regarded these titanic beings without a hint of fear or surprise. His gaze remained serene, patient even, as though confronting troublesome yet unruly children rather than monstrous cosmic rulers. I had reservations back then, Echo spoke finally, his voice quiet yet resonant, effortlessly penetrating the chaotic din around them, due to Orion. Lest your foolishness inadvertently harm him, I spared you all, granting you the chance to learn from your mistakes. But you really do not learn. Uneasy silence followed, the titanic beings exchanging apprehensive glances, recognizing that they stood dangerously close to a precipice they couldn't comprehend. The Titan Emperor, emboldened by desperation or perhaps misplaced confidence, took a cautious step forward. His immense form moved with effort as he tried to justify their presence. "Throneless Emperor," he rumbled nervously, "it is not what you think." Echo's eyes flared sharply, cutting him off decisively. "So this is what remains of those who stood beside me, shadows of heroes, inheriting titles they died to protect, yet forgetting why they fought." He stepped forward, the motion gentle yet infinitely powerful, golden threads igniting softly around him, flaring like dying suns. Each word resonated with ancient gravity, etched into the very bones of existence, impossible to ignore. "You were raised in their absence, not their presence," Echo continued relentlessly, his silver hair now flickering wildly in the chaotic cosmic winds, his gaze burning with the intensity of primordial starlight. "You read of war in records I wrote in blood. You were crowns forged from the ash of sacrifices you never made." The gathered emperors visibly flinched, their massive forms recoiling subtly from his damning judgment, each word cutting deeper than any physical weapon. Echo's voice softened briefly, carrying deep sorrow and profound reminiscence, his tone haunted by memories none present could fathom. "But I remember." The golden threads around him pulsed gently, their quiet resonance adding an eerie depth to his speech. "I remember their last war cries. Their shattered wings. Their fading light." His voice fell to a whisper filled with quiet grief, yet carrying a bone-deep resolve. "And I remember the silence that followed, because I was one of the few left to bury them, but their remains weren't even granted eternal rest due to the desperate situation of our chiliocosm structure back then." A profound stillness enveloped the gathered beings, silence born not from absence but from overwhelming presence, each emperor paralyzed by Echo's raw emotional weight. Slowly, deliberately, Echo raised his arms. The golden thread spiraled outward, twisting the fabric of space and time into breathtaking patterns. His form darkened, becoming a vast silhouette etched with star-like motes blazing fiercely, igniting across his skin like newborn constellations. In mere moments, Echo's figure expanded immensely, dwarfing even the colossal forms of the assembled emperors. He towered as a living cosmos, his being filled with galaxies spinning slowly, stars dying and being reborn within the limitless depths of his own body. His voice now thundered across the boundless void, calm yet unyieldingly authoritative, each syllable resounding with unparalleled dominance. "So come," Echo beckoned coldly, daring any to challenge his sovereign might. "Let me remind you why the void once whispered my name in fear." His cosmic form radiated power older than time itself, ancient energy swirling violently yet elegantly around him. The emperors stood transfixed, feeling genuine dread crawl up their spines for perhaps the first time in countless eons. Echo's final words echoed thunderously, "Let me show you why, in the first epoch, I was crowned the primordial emperor." Back inside the tranquil confines of the Hellstorm estate, time passed quietly yet relentlessly. Days blended seamlessly into weeks, weeks into months, each moment subtly changing the lives of those who called the mansion home. Rena and Fiora had thrown themselves into rigorous training, a silent, shared determination driving their relentless efforts. Each dawn found them already at the practice grounds, their breath misting gently in the cool morning air, bodies moving with precision and fierce determination beneath the gentle embrace of dawn's first light. Between intense training sessions, both women diligently cared for Orion's motionless draconic form, gently cleaning his scales, maintaining the surrounding mana formations, and whispering quiet words of encouragement, hoping their voices reached him even in his deep unconsciousness. Rena, especially, found herself training even more intensely due to feeling inferior compared to Fiora, who was a draconian. She no longer hesitated during combat practice, her strikes carried newfound certainty and strength, shaped by months of rigorous effort and a heart fiercely dedicated to protecting Orion and everyone dear to her. Yet, amidst her steady growth, Rena could never fully suppress the nagging worry deep within her heart, as if something was dormant within her that would burst out. She often found herself quietly pondering about it late at night, the uncertainty lingering persistently at the edges of her thoughts. Fiora similarly sharpened herself, her movements gaining greater fluidity, agility, and precision. While her memories of the fateful forest battle remained frustratingly hazy, the vague recollection of danger and her fierce determination to protect Orion strengthened her resolve to become even stronger. Together, the two women became pillars of silent strength and perseverance, drawing inspiration from Orion's unwavering dedication. Meanwhile, within her small yet comfortable room, Seraph redoubled her painstaking efforts to regain her lost voice. Every day, from dawn until dusk, she carefully traced letters upon parchment, softly murmuring each syllable with painstaking precision. Her emerald-green eyes burned with newfound determination, no longer clouded by resignation or despair. Though progress remained slow and arduous, Seraph refused to yield to frustration. Each successful syllable spoken filled her fragile heart with renewed courage. She often paused, gently gazing toward Orion's room, silently promising herself she'd greet him clearly once he awakened. Elsewhere within the sprawling estate, Eldrick found himself deeply entrenched in an intricate, shadowy conflict. The emergence of the Insanity Creed and increasingly alarming demon activities across the kingdom demanded his constant vigilance. His presence within the mansion grew scarce, the hours and days consumed entirely by clandestine meetings, rigorous investigations, and occasional ruthless confrontations. Though Eldrick's absence left the mansion feeling somewhat emptier, his resolve to safeguard Orion and everyone within the estate remained unwavering. He methodically hunted down any trace of conspiracy, ensuring no threat could reach their doorstep again. Simultaneously, Celine's presence within the mansion dwindled significantly as well. Her brilliant mind tirelessly searched across distant cities and obscure libraries, seeking rare herbs or potent alchemical potions capable of aiding Orion's challenging evolution. She journeyed far, sometimes venturing deep into dangerous territories and hidden markets, determinately leaving no stone unturned.